Hello, my name is J.R. Myers, and today we're going to be discussing the effect of suspension on academic performance. Our table of contents consists of our introduction, literature review, methodology, findings, and conclusion. Our problem statement is that students who were not present in the classroom due to disciplinary actions were constantly getting further behind in their ability to learn. The suspension of students, whether through ISS or OSS, has had major implications for not only academic achievement, but positive relationship development with teachers as well. The purpose of this study was to understand how punishment for high school students impacted their academic performance. Several studies suggested that there had been a negative correlation between students who were suspended from school and their ability to sustain academic excellence. So our research question states, how can the punishment of students have an impact on academic performance? Our sub-question 1 asks, what type of punishment has an effect on academic performance? And then our sub-question 2 asks, what experiences do suspended students have while being away from the classroom? Listed here, you'll find some terms that were used throughout the research paper. Those terms consist of discipline, exclusion, ISS or in-school suspension, OSS or out-of-school suspension, and lastly, suspension. So the significance of this study, was significant because it gave school districts information on what to do to improve the communication between teachers and their students. So as a former ISS teacher myself, what really got me to wanting to do this research was because of the lack of communication between the teachers and the students. Most of the time, students that come to ISS are usually pretty well behind. And so I felt like it was very important that students are able to communicate somehow to where they can get a lot of the assignments made up. But a lot of times teachers are so busy trying to teach their classes that they tend to forget to communicate with their students who are suspended from the classroom. So I felt the need to do a little research and see if maybe we can find a way to better help serve our students who are suspended. All right, so in our literature review, Vygotsky, a Soviet psychologist, sought a need for social interaction for children so that they could continue to grow and develop mentally and behaviorally. Based on Vygotsky's theory, development for children was dependent on social interaction with people and what is being presented in the environment around them. So I truly believe if students are suspended from the classroom, which if they should be suspended, I think they deserve it. But at the same time, a lot of times students who are suspended are away from their peers. Students need to be around their peers. They need to be socially interacting with students on a daily basis in order for them to develop mentally and behaviorally. All right, so also included in our literature review, we talk about the increase in school suspension. We talk about the impact of school suspension, parent involvement, and also ISS and academics. So we start with the increase in school suspension. Since the early 1990s, there had been a substantial increase in disciplinary actions in the school setting. Many scholars suggested that that the way schools handle discipline is somewhat identical to that of the criminal justice system. Administrators felt the need to quote unquote criminalize how a student behaves so that others are aware of how not to act. It was essential for discipline to be enforced at school so that it could function properly. As far as impact of school suspension, with regards to many school systems, there were concerns regarding the benefits of school suspensions for students. Some research show that suspensions can have negative consequences on students that may eventually lead to ongoing educational and behavioral problems. In addition, research has shown that the use of suspension is ineffective in lessening the number of office referrals. As it pertains to parental involvement, there were a number of factors that were associated with the academic success of students. The biggest indicator of success for students had to be the involvement of parents. Studies have suggested that although counselors collaborated daily with students, it helped to have parents and families who could assist in making sure that students were doing their part to be educated. And then lastly, we talk about the ISS and academics. Although there had been many studies done on the narrative that out-of-school suspension had a large impact on academic achievement, the results show that the correlation held true regarding poor academic performance in OSS. All right, our methodology. All right, so basically our overview is that the purpose of the study was to gain an understanding of the effect of punishment or suspension on students and the impact it had on their academic performance. The research design that we use was a narrative inquiry. This design allowed for students to give their own personal views and concerns regarding the effect of suspension on their education. All right, so we kind of already discussed the research questions earlier, but the data collection, as far as this goes, this study utilized a series of questions on a questionnaire to assess data, which will then be validated through member checking. The data collected hope to give insights on trends and patterns that had been present in schools for many years. As far as our themes consist of our teacher-student communication, our academic performance during suspension, the benefits of suspension, and then also our disciplinary consequences. In conclusion, the purpose of the study was to understand how punishment can have an impact on the academic performance of high school age students. The research was aimed to pinpoint connections between student academic struggles and discipline-induced absences from the classroom, disciplinary consequences, teacher and student communication, and academic performances during suspension were three major themes that were addressed throughout this study. In addition, motivation was recognized for academic performance. Moreover, possible implications were suggested to help bring attention to the issue. As far as our recommendation for future research would be ideal to better understand key factors that contribute to the impact on academic performance. Future research would benefit from analyzing the awareness and experiences of students as they navigate through various types of disciplinary actions. In addition, research on differential suspension or options, direct correlation to length, timing, and cause would be recommended. Really enjoyed this research. I really enjoyed presenting this to you. and hope you have a great day. Thanks.